To other news now, Pakistan is facing a massive food crisis. Wheat flour shortage has hit the people of the country, which has in turn resulted in anger amongst the public against the Imran Khan government. The crisis, which has been looming over the past several months, became even more severe after Prime Minister Imran Khan issued orders to the provincial governments to play an active role in curbing food prices. Profiteering and hoarding, the Nanbais of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are on a strike against the government, as various associations in Punjab have given a 5-day ultimatum to the government, asking it to provide them flour at a previous rate or allow them to raise the prices of wheat and wheat products. While the crisis has equally hit all the 4 provinces and the federal capital, of course, the blame game has started between the two. The provincial governments have blamed the federal government led by Imran Khan for the wheat crisis and subsequent increase in flour prices. People are being forced to buy flour at the highest ever price of about 70 rupees a kilogram in Lahore, Karachi and other cities, which is about 10 rupees higher than what it usually costs. However, according to Pakistan's National Food Security Body, the recent strike of transporters was the main reason behind the short supply of wheat. It believes that temporary crisis will be over within a few days, and the situation will further improve with the arrival of a new wheat crop in March-April. Meanwhile, the opposition leaders have slammed the Imran Khan government for the food crisis, condemning the surge in wheat prices. Opposition leader and head of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Shehbaz Sharif, in a statement from London, said the government's incompetence had triggered the crisis and demanded strict action against those responsible. Also, the BBP chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said that Imran Khan's government had turned the country, which was a wheat exporter, to a wheat importer. He alleged that the federal government had sent 40,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan and thus intentionally created a wheat crisis. And in a bizarre response to the looming crisis, Pakistan Minister Sheikh Rashid said that the staple food is being sold at exorbitant rates across Pakistan as people eat more bread in November and in December. Listen in.
नवंबर और दिसंबर ही लोग ज्यादा रोटी खाते हैं, मजाक नहीं कर रहे हैं. दिस इज अ स्टडी. फरवरी मार्च हमारे लिए मुश्किल महीने होंगे. फरवरी मार्च ऊंच नीच के महीने हैं.
In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Minister Shaukat Yousafzai came up with an even more shocking remark, where he urged people to not eat fine flour, saying it causes stomach cancer.
फाइन आटा जो है वो जो अंतड़ियों का कैंसर है, वहां तक डॉक्टरों ने कहा कि इससे खतरनाक बीमारियां और कैंसर तक कह दिया कि वो बनता है. उसके बावजूद भी वो कह रहे हैं कि जी हमें फाइन आटा ही चाहिए और पंजाब का ही चाहिए.
All right, we're now joined by Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, live from Islamabad for the very latest on this. And Anas, well, a massive wheat crisis there, and how is the government actually planning to tackle it other than the comments that we're hearing?
Well, absolutely, Bhairavi. The wheat crisis has worsened in Pakistan. It had been looming over months now, but over the past week, just this past week, the prices for flour, they increased by about 6 rupees a kilo, and currently a kilogram of flour would cost about 70 rupees per kilogram. This is contrary to the government price that has been fixed for about 64 kgs. Now, this wheat crisis, what the government side has been claiming, it is artificial, quote unquote, yet at the same time they are importing wheat. A while ago, the Economic Coordination Council, the ECC, they met under the Federal Finance Minister Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, and it has approved the import of wheat that would be about 300,000 tons that would be done. The first shipment would be in Pakistan by the 15th of February. So the question here, the more pertinent question here raises is that the fact that if at all it was an artificial crisis as the government was claiming, then why the need for import of wheat? The Pakistani government has also been under criticism for exporting wheat to Afghanistan. Pakistani government recently gifted 40,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan as well, and the export that was basically capped off was about till 400,000 tons, but the actual export that was done was about 640,000 tons. So that is one of the reasons as well that is for this shortfall. Now, this has been under heavy criticism by the opposition parties as well. The PM PMLN, the Pakistan People's Party, they have called out the Imran Khan government for lack of planning and lack of vision as well. The fact that they could not get over this crisis in time. Whereas the central government, they have been blaming the provincial government, precisely the Sindh government, for not procuring wheat in time. So the blame game continues. Pakistani government has formally said and given a go-ahead to the import of wheat to counter this crisis for the time being. Yes, Bhairavi.
All right, Anas, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there. So, of course, the import of wheat is how the government plans to tide over this, even though there have been several shocking comments, of course, from ministers within the government.